I'm going to talk about why I like investing in Pennsylvania and some of the other, and some parts of New Jersey and Connecticut, and what to look for if you're trying to be a landlord, the best way to go with that. I'm going to say if you're going to be a landlord, and why New York to me is one of the worst places to invest in if you want to be a landlord, or buy and hold especially. I can't begin to tell you the amount of horror stories I've heard from landlords in New York. For one, the real estate is overpriced. But the best part about it is that New York real estate never seems to burst. The bubble never seems to burst. But what happens is, let me tell you a story first. When I was first considering becoming a landlord years ago, I was in a cab, right? I think it was, this had to be maybe before Uber really took off. But anyway, it was a woman cab driver. And, we had a casual conversation. And she said that she was a landlord. And I said, okay, how do you like it? I said, I'm considering doing that. She said, whatever you do not invest in New York. I said, why? She said, you see, I'm driving a cab, right? I said, yeah. She said, excuse me, guys. She said, that's because my mortgage, I think her mortgage was something, it's a multi-unit. So her mortgage had to be over $3,000, maybe close to $4,000, I think she told me. And she said they put a family in the second unit that was supposed to help pay that mortgage off. The family paid maybe only a few months rent and then totally stopped paying. Now her and her husband are still stuck paying that mortgage. So now they have to pay the utilities on that second unit and their own utilities and pay the mortgage. So she said, I'm afraid we're going to lose this house, right? So I don't know how that story turned out. But I used to work with someone, another young woman who told me that she was a homeowner and she rented out her basement to someone who happened to be a cop. And there's no diss to police. But because he was a cop, she assumed that meant he was a great tenant. Wrong. So this guy stopped paying rent. He would make noise all hours of the night. Now, of course, this could happen anywhere, but I'm going to tie these up for you so you see where I'm going. He was making her life a living hell. And he was also writing fake summons on her for nonsense, just to harass her, right? So it's basically her word against his. So in both those cases, these situations never made it to landlord-tenant court for at least maybe a good 6 months to a year. Right? Because that's how backed up the courts are in New York with evictions. Now when they go in court, they get evicted, the judge may give them another 3 to 6 months to a year to move. So now that doesn't help the homeowner, right? So New York is a very tenant-friendly state. Now I'm not knocking that, we all are tenants in some way, one way or another. But that really sucks if you're a landlord and you have a mortgage to pay. Even if you don't have a mortgage, that just all out sucks, doesn't it? Right? So, and I could go on and on with other stories that I've heard, but for me, that was like, that's a big no-no. That was a big red flag for me. So what I like about places like Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Florida, and South Carolina are those places are very landlord friendly. Good example, when I have a tenant from hell, I know it's only a matter of 3 to 6 months before that headache is gone. I know it's going to take me maybe, when you file in court, it takes maybe a month before you get a court date, right? So that's month one. Now I got to wait to get a court date. We go to court, they found guilty. The judge may give them another 2 months to be out, right? 30 to 60 days to be out. So now we're looking at maybe 3 months, right? Now, if they're not out on those 30 days, then you go and get a constable, you get a judgment, and then a sheriff comes out and kicks them out in another 30 days. So you're looking at 3 to 4, 5 months, 6 months tops that this person will be gone, right? So you can start planning for the next tenant ahead of time, right? So that's why I prefer to always invest in landlord-friendly states, right? And I'm going to get a list of them and share them with you for those of you that are interested in that. You want to know, I can tell you the most landlord-friendly states are the ones that are closer to you, because you don't want to go too far. I say whenever you own a rental unit, you never want to be no more than 3 hours away. If 2 hours, an hour is perfect. as far as just be. I even think an hour is perfect because you don't want your tenants to even feel like you're that accessible that they can come to your house whenever you want. So I believe in having some space, some distance between you and the tenant. But if you're going to be an out-of-state landlord, out-of-town landlord, don't go with anything more than 3 hours away. What I like about 3 hours away is that once a month, as Saturday comes, you can just go jump on the road and go check on your property. All right, any day of the week, whatever. You can do that once or twice a month. So that's 6 hours of road time, right? It's not that bad, right? And you do that once a month. You go check on your property. Also, if any emergencies happen, 3 hours is a long drive, but it's not crazy, right? You can still jump in the car or whatever and go out there and check on your property. You can still keep a grip on your property, your rental unit, if it's 3 hours away. So that's it. I'll talk more about this for those that hit me up, that want me to expand on it more. Don't forget to like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel.